Oh, this is Coco Thoughts. I'm Coco Maestro, and we're just gonna get into it. So, this what you see on screen. Obviously, I created that. I'm now an artist. I would like to say. I don't know what else to fill in that bottom left space though, but I think the coffee mug is pretty good, or whatever hot liquid could be in there. Who knows? I don't. It's up to your imagination. So I'm gonna talk about drivers or just transportation in general. Transportation freaking sucks in the at least the US. I'm sure in other parts it's probably better because they have better public transportation, but oh my gosh, freaking driving literally. So I know like two places, right? You got like LA, like a very high density and freaking population of people all owning cars. You have like the few bus routes that are available that aren't very accessible with the metro, and then you have freaking trains, and they're absolute, like, I think they're like kind of garbage. I took like one train, and unfortunately it's been too long since I freaking rode on it, so I can't remember like the destinations exactly, but I know it was like kind of like a coastal route train. It was pretty all right, but like the only unfortunate thing is like I want to kind of take like transportation daily, and unfortunately, in my state, it is absolute garbage. Like there are no trains whatsoever. There are bus routes, but the bus routes are very uh inaccessible. There's like no bus stops near my current I don't know living quarters, and there's just like no accessibility to it. But you know, I do have access to. It's just freaking cars. I have freaking every type of car available, and it's like, oh, I kind of don't want to drive cars to be honest, because driving, I have to worry about gas. You know, I can obviously, ride it whenever I want. It's like, all right, I guess. But it's just, I have to deal with like the other drivers that deal with the radio. Sometimes the freaking car doesn't start right, or I have to like go fill a freaking tire because I feel like a little bit lopsided because one of my tires might be like leaking freaking air. you know. But if I just take like a bus, the bus is already prepped. I don't have to worry about the gas of the bus. I just have to pay the bus fare, and I get on and I go to whatever location. That's it. I can freaking be on my phone. If I had like a laptop, or I could play my freaking Switch. I don't know. I could play like freaking Fire Emblem, uh, freaking Three Houses, and complete that game finally, instead of just like leaving it alone and not playing it until I have to like go on a flight. Or I could play freaking Dynasty Warriors 8. Dynasty Warriors is, I think, is like a pretty good game, but that's kind of biased. Going off topic. Um, yeah, just like public transport is just so garbage. I feel like it's just not usable in the U.S. I swear. But I went to Italy for a vacation, and I had the ability to go from like Rome to I think it was like Florence, and it was like maybe $200 or $300 a ticket. And to be honest, that's like kind of worth it if you're like visiting. Just like take the train, go somewhere. Obviously, plan your way back and know what you're doing there. But I don't know, just the access to train in freaking at least Italy. I don't know if it's like the same thing with every European nation, but I feel like their accessibility is just so much better. Like I would love to take a freaking train from, I don't know, freaking California to, where do you even want to go? Like Montana, maybe. I don't know what's Montana, but just somewhere. Or maybe I don't know. See what's up in Florida. I don't know. I don't even know what's down there really, besides like their own version of Hollywood, which I don't think is probably equivalent to California's Hollywood. But uh, maybe go down to Louisiana, try some of their food. That's probably it. Just go to the southern states for barbecue, and then like northern states for cities, I guess. I don't really know. I don't really know what's in the United States really, because that's like another thing too. We're so spread out in the U.S. I swear. Like you have your freaking your neighborhoods, but you don't really. I bet most people who have a house do not know at least like 10 families maybe that live within their neighborhoods, unless they have like some type of group chat. That's like, I guess that's some way of getting connected. But I'm talking about like in person. You've met these people, like 10 families. I swear people haven't. But if you live in like apartment complex, right? At least, my only frame of reference really is just like United States housing versus like Italian housing. In Italy, you have like freaking apartments that are just stacked on each other that go up probably, I don't know, 6, 7 floors or something like that. Probably like max, well, minimum 2 floors, obviously, and then a maximum of maybe like 7 or 8. And the majority of the people within your apartment building, I would say, because at like the very bottom floor, everybody's name tag is up, so you can see their names if you wanted to. And I'm sure as you go in and out your apartment, you're probably gonna occasionally run into, depending on time of day, of course, somebody who lives there, obviously, and you're gonna interact with them. You might say like, ciao or something. I don't know. It just seems so much better. You just get to interact with them. You get to know them. Maybe you ask them about their experiences with their apartment or how the area's been. At least for my trip there, my mom knew. Well, she didn't really know. She talked to another one of the tenants about the area, and they were just comparing how it was like maybe like a 5 years ago plus to how it is now. How it's possibly gotten like a little bit more dirty or something, or a store was at a certain spot and now it's like moved over. Just like just random things to catch up and try to learn the area a little bit better. In like the U.S., you don't really have that. In the U.S., everybody's kind of like in their own little cubby, and they don't really know who's next to them. But they also don't know who's like next to their neighbors. They only know. I would assume most Americans probably they only know their neighbors like directly, and then maybe like across. Because at least like thinking about my childhood, I knew only the people that went to my school within my neighborhoods, and then somebody who was like in the apartments that was like down the street when I was younger. And yeah, that's kind of it. But as far as like my parents go, they didn't really, as, as far as I know, they only talked to like very few people, and they like invited them over. They maybe like talked for like 2 hours, and then they left. I just don't see like really a sense of like community or anything or a connection. You're kind of just like living by yourself for like the entire time that you're like a homeowner, and maybe even like apartments. I mean, to be honest, in apartments, you're gonna have to interact with your neighbors at some point, unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on the occasion that you're meeting up with them with, or you're possibly talking to them. Noise complaint maybe, or just greeting them, and who knows the freaking reaction. I don't know. Some people I feel like, are freaking hostile for no reason. But man, what would I do for some more freaking trains? Um, I don't know. Also with freaking man, I'm just gonna go back to cars for a second. I swear, people forget how to freaking drive, or they just like subconsciously drive. I swear, they people. So there's like two lanes on the road that I usually take to work, and at least like somebody today, they freaking went over a double yellow, which you're not supposed to cross. Freaking in the road, and I feel like they were just like swerving because they were either like looking at their phone or something. It's like I just I would just rather take a train. I don't want to have to worry about somebody swerving or just like not paying attention on the freaking road. Because my God, there's so many people. There's just too much to have to pay attention to, and also the lights too. They're so freaking infrequent. Because I try to like time lights. I try to like get a general understanding of like how long a light will be green and how long the light will be red. Because just having the information is so freaking useful for daily commutes. Because I can see a green light and I can see it switch over to red, and I know like the exact amount of time if I'm gonna be late or not to work. Because I like to cut it like as close as possible to the o'clock that I'm supposed to be there. Because there's no point showing up early if you're not paid to show up early. There's no point, really. Like, what are you gonna do? You gonna sit on your phone at work? You just sit on your phone at home or in your car. More comfortable than being at work, at least. I don't know. I don't have that much of connection to the job. I don't really care, to be honest. It's so funny too. They like complain about how you're on your phone, but then the people that are yelling about you being on your phone are also the people that are on their phone at the same time, or possibly not even paying attention to like what problems currently happening at the workplace. It's just it just doesn't matter, to be honest. That's the whole part of the saying, I guess. The Your boss makes a dollar, you make a dime, but it's it's way different now. Hmm. Man, anybody ever think about freaking Pokemon games? They freaking have been around for so long, but I don't think there's been a single Pokemon game that's been voice acted. And this is like a big industry. Like every time it sells like millions of copies. Like the best game in the series, I would say. Well, the best games would be like Black and White 2, maybe Platinum. Pokemon Platinum it's got like a good soundtrack. Same with Black and White 2. It's very good. You just play it casually. Like the rematch themes that they have are very good. Or just the battle music itself. You got Pokemon DX, which is like a very unique take on it, where you're capturing like corrupted Pokemon and you're kind of like purifying them and then keeping them. I feel like that should come back. They should make like a DX2 or DX X or something, or XDDD. That'd be pretty good. I think that would probably be like one of the most like top selling Pokemon games if they created that, along with voice acting and then black and white implementation. Wait, no, it's not black and white. It's Pokemon X and Y. I forgot. That's also in the list. That's like top five. Pokemon DX is at like the bottom, and they have Black and White 2 and like the 3 and 4 slots, and then number one. Actually, no, this had to be the top six. Because isn't there a Pokemon? You have a Pokemon X, Pokemon Y, and isn't there like an XY or XYZ? Well, let me Google that real quick. Oh, nope. Okay, never mind. I freaking. I want for a second you'll get to see my freaking thing. Hold up. Okay, there's nothing on there. I thought randomly I would just have something on there, but luckily there isn't for me. Yes, I know it's Shavana from freaking League. Yeah, there is a Pokemon XYZ. And then for like the anime as well for Pokemon XYZ was really good, I think. Because as a kid watching, it was like the first time like Ash actually had like a little bit of freaking like romance. And when I was watching that when I was younger, I don't really know when it came out, but it was like sometime in like high school or something. That was like my favorite thing. But as per usual, they like completely forget about the character, and she's just kind of now currently in just in space. Like who knows where they are? I'm pretty sure they said they were gonna like go around to the I think it was the Hoenn region, right? For Pokemon Diamond and Pearl and Platinum. I'm pretty sure she said she was gonna go there for the tournament. Well, not really the tournament, but like the pageants where they like show off the freaking Pokemon and the trainer and show like how in sync they are. I wonder why they cut that out. I mean, that'd be like a in like an interesting movie, maybe. You know, you have like Ash go back to the region. I don't know. They could do like a I forget who like the freaking gym leaders are. But I don't know. I feel like it would be interesting. Yeah, I'll have it up. I was freaking. I was hoping that I had it pulled up on another tab, but I did not. So I can at least like look at the names. I didn't really plan on Pokemon. I thought I was gonna talk about cars and transportation for freaking 20 minutes, but I guess not. Yeah, I feel like that could be like a maybe like a decent movie. I don't know. Regardless, just like the freaking characters from from Black and White, that region are good. Pretty sure I like tried watching Sun and Moon. And I was like, okay. And then just like just only X and Y really mattered to me. And I know recently, I think didn't Ash become like a gym? Well, not really leader, but he became like a Pokemon champion finally. It's just so weird. I don't understand why they would. What was like the goal of Pokemon besides like making friends and stuff? What is like the point? What is the goal of it? It's obviously defeat the gym leaders. You know, show some type of progress. Show that Ash is a competent trainer. Well, not really a competent trainer, but yeah, never mind. It is a trainer. Show that he's like competent in some way. And I don't know, just making friends, maintaining friendships, maintaining the relationship with this Pokemon. That's like kind of it. And just like get all the gym badges and make it to like the like Elite Four to become a Pokemon Master. Although it's not really like the Elite Fours, it's more of like the Elite Five because you're facing the champion. I don't know. I cannot like think of like a fantasy world that I really want to live in because Pokemon seems neat, right? You have all the various types. That's all right. Oh wait, also I think I found out how to do it. Nope, no I didn't. It's a useless program. It's like it's not useless. I just don't even freaking use it. But there's like so many freaking fantasy worlds that you could live in. Well, so many fantasy worlds to choose from, really. I don't know. I don't know where I'd want to live. Just from like all the games that I've played and maybe movies too. I don't know. I feel like Pokemon would obviously be like a very strong contender because just all the all the Pokemon that are available now, all the regions that you're available to go to. The only real question about Pokemon though is like the how to make money and what are like the rules? Are you able to go to other regions and like take the Pokemon that you had in another region and go I don't know like Hoenn to crap I don't know any of the regions. I can't remember any off the top of my head. Let's just go with games because I know the games. So let's say you go from like uh black and white to like the emerald ruby sapphire region. Can you take the Pokemon that you had before over there? And also how does like the level system work? Is there a level system? How does your Pokemon evolve? Do you have to like what new conditions would exist in order for you to evolve your Pokemon? And also like is you have to worry about happiness? Can your Pokemon run away from you? Obviously, that would probably be a thing. You'd probably reach a point where if you're not good friends with your Pokemon, they'll probably run away from you or retaliate. And considering that this is like going to be real life, uh, I'm sure they'll probably attack the trainer. And and that'd be like a. I wonder if the people who create Pokemon would be able to do like a spin off and try to like I don't know pull like a Digimon on Pokemon because apparently Digimon is like very violent. And watching back on it, they have like some subtle things that you didn't really pick up as a kid or you just didn't really care. I don't know. I really wonder. Like obviously they'd be like OP ones that can kind of like tech every other Pokemon with. But I think if it was real life, you also wouldn't be able to know the super effective typings as well. Because that would kind of be that kind of like defeat the purpose of doing it. But I don't. Maybe not. There is like an online Pokemon game that people used to play, and I used to play like in high school. I forget the freaking name of it, unfortunately. But basically, just like choose like a random Pokemon team. Well, not really random, but you could choose your Pokemon specifically. And you can go, up to a team of six. You could choose the moves that each Pokemon has. You can use a specific item on each one, and people would just create freaking full legendary teams, and they would just get absolutely stomped by like some of the worst Pokemon. And I kind of wish, well, not I really wish. I kind of wonder how that would work if it was real. And obviously, I feel like not everybody could become a trainer unless they like expanded the Pokemon world, like the distance between towns and stuff like that. There would just have to be like a lot that would have to be done in order to make it like somewhat real. I feel. Oh, or actually, I don't know. Maybe with like the amount of regions, you can kind of spread out the population. What's like the current world population? It's like 8 million. Probably put like well, not really 8 million, 8 billion. You could probably put like 10 billion people per region. Geez, that'd be heavily overpopulated for most of these areas because these areas are small. I don't know. I feel like it would be interesting. I wish we could develop VR to a point where you could just like sit in a chair and just freaking put on the helmet and just immerse yourself in whatever freaking game to escape reality. Just kidding. I don't know. Or maybe not. I think it'd be interesting. So funny. I think they're trying to like implement smells into VR now. I don't think that's a very smart idea. But I'm not the one who has the freaking money to R&D that. So I don't know. What is like the end game to VR? What is that? I'm just derailing again. Freaking, I don't know. What? Freaking, I don't know. Other freaking, what other fantasy worlds? Like Halo's bad. For like a reality standpoint, if you were to live within that world, humans are like severely like underpowered. I would say your common soldier morale is that of like just like a civilian within let's say like Warhammer. Like you're going up against like a massive monster. You don't know where they're from, or maybe you do. They have like really high tech weapons that you only have like I don't know gunpowder or just regular guns to fight them with, but they have like freaking laser beams and stuff, or just massive armored machines that are not. I think the word's like susceptible or weak to tanks or something. And then you have the freaking flood, which I think is like the best part of the Halo franchise is the flood. I don't know. I don't think humans can really do anything against it. Besides, like some of the weapons that they've created within like the Halo games. I don't know the unfortunately I'm not good with names, but the massive laser beam weapon. I think it's called like the Spartan laser. Maybe that's like the finger on the scale for the humans is the Spartan laser. But like how many of that weapon can you even produce? I don't know. But what I do know is I'm going to now talk about anime because it's been 30 minutes. And I kind of want to go over what I've currently been watching so I can continue watching. Oh, let me. Oh, never mind. Uh, so I have been watching. Let's see here. I got Spike's Family, season two. I've watched the first half ish of Call of the Night, or I think it's called like Shifuki no Yuta or something. And I've watched Buddie Daddies. Those are currently like the only names I can currently think of for animes I've been watching this week. But starting off, I'm gonna go with like Spike's Family because I think it was okay. The intro song was alright. You know what? I'm going to actually pull it up so I can go through the names. Okay, well now it works. So I got Buddy Daddies here. Let me pull up Spy X Family season 2 so I can go through names and go through the episodes a little bit. Here we go. It's not what I wanted to do. Those oops. Uh, why did it go away that time? But then it was fine when I had it on the other screen. I don't know. Do I have all the episodes? Can I see? Okay. I think the episodes really matter. I'm not going to remember like everything specific. Anyways, intro was good as per usual. I love the comedy from the first season, and I listened to the outro. Can I remember the song specifically? But I can say that they're very good. I listened to them on my personal time. And you know a song is good as long as you like freaking willingly go and look it up and listen to it again. You know, I think Spike's Family Part 2 was more of a, let's say more of like a Anya and Lloyd Forger focused season. It was more focused on like Anya getting more of a connection to the Becky character and getting more of a connection to that Damien, like a little bit, but not really. And you had like a little bit of Forge and well, Lloyd Forger. All their last names are the same, and I think her name is Fiona, and that was good. I enjoyed the Fiona Frost character a little bit. That's mostly because I'm a fan of the characters that are obsessed and in love, which is why I mostly watch romance shows. You had like a little bit of Frankie this season, but not a lot. I do like the dog though. I think the dog is a really good character, even though he doesn't even say anything. The expressions that they have for the dog are very good, and had a decent amount of laughs. It was overall like a very enjoyable season. And most of them watch like Spike's Family just because it's a very comfortable show. I could just wrap myself up in a blanket and just freaking kind not really binge watch, but every time it comes on like a new episode, I can turn it on, watch it, and then move on to whatever else is coming up that day. Which is why I usually watch anime on like uh, Friday to Sunday because that's when mostly everything's up anyways, and I could just blaze through it instead of just watching one episode and like itch for more and have the itch for like another freaking 7 days. Like that's why I absolutely despise. Can you pick up girls in a dungeon? I think's the name of it. Hold on, let me make sure. Yeah, is it okay to pick up girls in a dungeon? I think that show is garbage. I've I've freaking I binge watched the third season. I didn't really see too much development besides like the main character having a better ability of using his freaking knife and his skills, or his knives rather, and his skills. But like other than that, there's nothing really else. I mean, you got introduced to like one new monster character, the mermaid, who could talk to him. And I was like, okay. And that was really it. I mean, the party tried to flex their abilities, and they had maybe one or two successful fights together. But like each time, they were missing the main character. Like the main character had a freaking solo, the boss of a dungeon, and boss like air quotes because it's not really supposed to be a boss. It was just like a monster that ate the other monsters to become stronger and gain new abilities. It was kind of literally just up to him, and his whole squad could barely even hold back against the trash mobs that they so very easily slayed before. So I don't know. I don't think it's that good of a show. And then you go into the new season now, and now it's just like cliffhanger after cliffhanger, and I don't think it's very interesting. Maybe I just have like the wrong perspective of the show. Maybe I'm just like not watching it right. But I don't know. As of like right now, I think it's garbage, and I think I don't know. I think it should complete the season, and maybe no, not really. It should, but maybe I should just wait until like the end of the season to see how I feel about it. Because I just don't see any like anything good to come from it. What even are its categories? Its genre is action, adventure, fantasy. Oh, never mind. He meets the mermaid again, and not it's not the first time they met the mermaid. I don't know. Man, this show came out in 2015 and still airing, huh? Interesting. It's so interesting to see how these shows get like I don't know, one season, then they continue to air for I don't know, like three or more. I don't know. Oh, I'm hoping more manga gets freaking TV shows. I think there could be some decent stuff that are kind of like under the radar that people aren't really paying attention to. I'm sure there are. Maybe before the next time I do this, I'll watch some trailers. I'm sure there's some gold to be found. Maybe I don't know. But yeah, finishing up the Spike's Family thing part two. It was all right. You had like a little bit of your getting to their feelings, but they were all Lloyd and your were I don't know, like a little bit tipsy, so they didn't really convey any feelings. At least from like my perspective, I don't know if like that's what the writer intended or not, or it's just how I interpreted it. But I read a review, unfortunately, on Reddit that said that they were confessing, and I was like, oh, I don't want to see that. That's a spoiler. So I was gonna watch it. And I didn't really see any feelings. So maybe like a little bit of like your feeling like she isn't really doing anything as she's getting replaced with like Fiona, and she doesn't want that to happen because it would like get in the way of her job. But I wonder at what point do, if they continue to do Spike's Family and go into like part three or something, if Yor and Lloyd decide to set their jobs aside and have the relationship be the priority at some point, or one of them decide that them being together is more important than their jobs. Oh, I wonder if they cross that road at any point, or maybe I'll just read the manga. Maybe somewhere in there, but I highly doubt it, considering the genres, which are action and comedy, and that's a shonen. But yeah, just moving on from that. Let's go into the other one that's kind of like it, Buddie Daddies. I think Buddie Daddies is actually like, I think it's good. It's a very enjoyable show with the two main characters, and how they become parents of this kid that they spoilers for a second, uh, killed the father of. But I think they're good. Just like with the two personalities there, you have Kazuki. I'm gonna butcher this. Kazuki Kurisu, who's kind of like a very charismatic, I would say, dude. Just because of the way he's able to sleep with various women for his job. At least I would assume, even though we only saw like one, or yeah, just one on screen currently of people that he slept with. And then Ray Suwa is a very good like gunsmith, I would say. And he's just very good at, freaking weapons in general, or at least his rifles. His I'm assuming he used the I think he used the pistol at some point. And yeah, just his ability to use weapons is interesting, and I don't know, just the dynamic between these two characters. I think it's like very interesting because usually you'd expect the I don't know, maybe we're like past the point of like the norm being a father and a mother. I don't know, maybe that's why I like the show a little bit more, because it's a father and a father. It's just like kind of interesting because they're also criminals at the same time. I don't know, but I don't know, just them being happy, just slowly switching this Ray character from being very gloomy and kind of like depressed, from slowly changing his emotion for this kid that they've been like forced to adopt. I think it's like very interesting. I'm sure at some point there's probably gonna be a an episode, even though it's only on like I think it's on like episode 4 or 5 right now. There's obviously gonna be like some point where this dude gets like something snaps in his head for the kid that they're adopting right now, to where maybe he like switches back. But I think probably by like the end of this, he's probably gonna be like a little bit happier or look like a little bit less gloomy. I don't know. At least I would hope so. And maybe he has like more of a connection to the adopted kid that they have. Because right now it doesn't really seem like he really cares. But Kazuki does care. It'd be cool too if they got the cat back that they had to get rid of in like the first episode. They should have kept it because cats are cool. I don't know. Ooh. I think it would be a good show. Hopefully. Let me see. Also, I know what the freaking like. I don't know. I feel like the only reason why I watch some of these shows is just to see the happiness of these characters. It just seems so nice. But other than that, like the main reason for me watching the show is just for these for Rei and Kazuki. I just want to see what happens. And I don't think, at least for like the latest episode, they haven't really done any jobs yet, as far as I know, or any like successful jobs. Well, they've adopted Miri. I think it'd be interesting because I feel like they're it's gonna show their skills kind of go away, and they're gonna like slowly try to get out of the business or something, and their company's gonna tell them that they cannot leave the business or something. I don't know. I'm just gonna read a review real quick. Man, everybody's just saying like it's just like Spike's family. All right, so one of the reviews says that the dads are both incompetent, but like Lloyd and Yor are also incompetent because Lloyd has the prior knowledge of being a spy that he's able to like do tasks around the house and make food for the family to eat, which is like generally like a female attribute. But in Buddy Daddies, freaking Kazuki can cook. He could cook like really well. You know, he can also bake, but Ray cannot cook at all. And I guess that's like kind of like the Lloyd being Kazuki, and Ray is like Yor, and that's like the only real connection you can make. But you can kind of do that connection with like literally anything of like similar genres. You're gonna find like the standard athletic person. The athletic person's like usually like tanned or something, and they're like maybe like a little bit built. You know, your standard main character who talks themselves down, but actually has like maybe a redeeming quality where they're like, well, not really like a redeeming quality, but they're good at games or something. They have like a certain skill that they're good at, or they're good at everything. There's a lot of like templates that are used for freaking anime, and they're kind of like just taken across like entire genres, and it's very like definite to the T, exactly the same, but like a different voice actor, different art style, and a different way like the character looks. Like I could probably look up like the fantasy genre, and the fantasy genre is kind of, I think it's like kind of like copy and paste. You know, it's kind of, haven't I seen this character before? Aren't these like two characters like the exact same? I feel like you could easily make that connection with like anything. It's not. There's not anything wrong with that. I don't think. All it comes down to is like this the story itself, and if the characters are actually allowed to like express their talents or not. And that's all I really care about. Let me see. D says Spike's family was great. It's presented in a humorous way. This dude. Hmm. Kazuki is dumb, dumb, huh? I don't think Kazuki is really that dumb. He's not even incompetent. The dude's skilled at knitting. Well, not really knitting, but he's good at sewing because he had to sew Mary's clothes with the name because apparently they do that over there in Japan. So it's like they know it's Mary's freaking I don't know lunchbox or something because that sewing is a freaking skill. I wouldn't say that he's necessarily dumb. I think Kazuki's like a very smart person because let's say for like the missions too, he's able to do research on the targets and he's able to develop a plan based on like what happens around his house and he's like, oh, I got an idea. Like, what was it? Mary did a thing. I think it was they were trying to assassinate a dude and escape on a boat, and they went in through like the front door as like a cleaner, and they found a way to like avoid detection by basically I think they were like trying to lead the target like in a circle and evade cameras. And that was because Miri wanted to like play hide and go seek in like their apartment. At least this is like just from what I'm remembering, so I might be wrong. But he was able to develop a plan from that, and I think that it shows like some bit of intellect. So I don't think it's that bad, really. I don't know. Again, there's only like 3 episodes in. I'm sure people hated Spike's Family in like the first like 3 episodes or something until they like slowly began to okay, this is actually like starting to get good. But anyways, you can move on from that now. Now I'm gonna go into Call of the Night or you. I'm just gonna butcher this intentionally. Yufushi. You know what? Never mind. No, I'm not. Call of the Night. Call of the Night. I think it's all right. So let me see the names here. So you got Nazuna, vampire. Ko is a apparently a middle schooler in the show, and Akira currently. Okay, I'm not gonna spoil myself because I'm gonna read more names. I'm currently in I think 6 episodes, and so far so good, very enjoyable. Intro banger, outro banger. Although I can say I only listened to the intro. The outro is good, but I'm not gonna sit through the extra amount of time because I need to continue watching the show. Because I'm only 6 episodes in, and I have 7 left because it's a 13 instead of a it's 13 episodes, so 12. But I think it's all right so far. I understand why Nazuna is so um not really anything. Uh, the relationship between Ko and Nazuna is interesting. Not really like they're in a relationship, but like just the connection between these two characters is interesting. Like they both even though like Nazuna could literally probably go to anybody else for blood, she decides on Ko. So shows like a little bit of a connection there. And um, it's also interesting that Ko's just like so freaking committed to living during the night. I guess he just really hates freaking school that much, which is understandable. School is kind of a waste of time being through it. Well, been there, done that. The freaking color palette that they've chosen is very nice for the show. I don't understand why they chose the main characters to only be in like black and white. The only real color that you see within these two characters is just Nazuna's eyes being like a sky blue. But like the purple, the blues, really good. Perfect show to watch at freaking night. It's just very comfortable, easy on the eyes. And it also kind of like ties back to like what I was talking about earlier with the freaking neighborhoods. Like, man, America would just be so much better if it was just more freaking con- tightly packed and just buses and trains, not as many cars, and just walkable cities and just walkable anything really. It would just be so much for like comfortable and people would probably be like a little bit happier. Because like in this show, this dude's able to I don't know, go to like a spa and be able to go to like a freaking rooftop pool. But like in like real life, if you're like in the US, if you wanted to do that, first of all, they're closed or there aren't any, which most likely there aren't any available. Pools, probably, there probably aren't any, to be honest. So you can't experience it. The only thing they have open are probably just like bars. As at least as like far as I know, I haven't really like looked into trying to find like a freaking spa that it's open at like midnight until like 4 in the morning, like the show. But yeah, the show itself is just like very interesting. Characters likable, like a little bit relatable. I remember at least as like a kid, I used to want to like stay up all night, and even now, I prefer being awake during 9 to like 3 a.m. than being awake from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Because the night is just so much better. It's quiet, more or less. Nobody's really awake. You know, if I wanted to watch something, it's out at night. I don't have to wait for it. I don't know. It's just more comfortable. So no, at least on like personal level, I like kind of relate to the show. Besides like becoming a vampire, because I think vampires kind of lame. Um, I don't know. The freaking colors are nice. Art's nice. I, don't, I feel like the art reminds me of something, but I can't remember what. What is the studio? Oh, Sentai. Let me see. Like this remind. I swear, you see like one anime and you're like, wait a minute, I know who's like done this art before. Well, not really one anime, but you've seen like most animes, and you feel like you've seen like this a similar art style. I'm not gonna be able to find it. There's too many. There's too many. I know. Hopefully, well, actually, no. Guaranteed, I'll know more of the characters. But at least currently, enjoying the show. It's kind of interesting. I'm already like halfway through the show, and I've only seen 3 of the characters in this roster sheet. There's like what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's like 8 other ones, and apparently they're all female. Is there ever another male? Oh no, there's one male. Any other ones? There's another one. So I'm finding only 3, 4, 5. No, I'm spoiling myself again. Anyways, yeah, that's about it for freaking today's Coco thoughts. Hopefully, you guys had a. Hopefully, whomever's watching had like a good day or whatever. I don't know. I don't know how to do other stuff. Anyways, peace. Goodbye. Have a good day.